Greetings and welcome to the Alabama CPA podcast. This is a special edition of the podcast, joining you on Tuesday night, January the 20th. We finished up day 4 of the Alabama Legislative session in 2026. We're pleased to report that HB 59, the Pathways to CPA Act, has passed the House. Representative Kerry Underwood sponsored that bill. He is an active CPA here in the state, up in Tuscumbia, and he has carried it through the House for us, and now the bill will go on to the Senate. It is scheduled to be in the Senate's Fiscal Responsibility and Economic Development Committee tomorrow around 12:30, and if it gets a favorable report in the committee, it could get a second reading tomorrow, and then a third reading and potentially vote for final passage by the legislature on Thursday. So we are very optimistic about this bill, and certainly if you've been following along, this bill would allow the Alabama State Board of Public Accountancy to amend the education requirements to become a licensed CPA, potentially making it where college graduates just with a bachelor's degree could have the education necessary to become a CPA and licensed to practice. They would still have to pass the exam, of course, but then if they have a bachelor's degree, they would be required to have 2 years of working experience. Currently, a master's degree and 1 year of working experience will get you the necessary education and experience requirements, but this would offer an additional pathway to open it up for those who just have the bachelor's degree and can get 2 years of experience and pass that exam. So it's an exciting day. This is certainly a bill watched around the state and around the country, as this is sort of a trend going on around the country. I believe 30 states have already passed similar legislation, and so Alabama would be joining them, and we're pleased to support that bill and pleased that it has gotten through the House so quickly, and we are hopeful that the Senate will act just as quick in getting it through. So this is important to get this bill passed quickly, because college seniors currently are evaluating what their options are for the next school year, whether they have to sit for that 5th year and get a master's degree, or can they go right to work. Some, of course, will do both. And so we obviously think the master's degree is still very important, but sometimes people just cannot do that. They need to go to work. And for those folks, there could be a new option once this bill is passed. So stay tuned, and we'll certainly keep you updated on that. There are a couple other bills that have passed the House that we want to tell you about as well, both dealing with municipal audits. The first bill, brought by Representative Mac Butler, HB 22, shows that Class 4 municipalities could be free from the restriction of having to hire a different auditor every 3 years. That only really applies to one municipality, Gadsden, here in the state. And so currently they feel like that's just a little restrictive for one municipality to have that in the state law, so they want to remove that and allow Gadsden to retain their auditor for longer than 3 years if they so desire. So that's really all that would apply to, but certainly something that affects CPAs. A bill, HB 17, brought by Representative Bill Lamb from Tuscaloosa, would change the thresholds for small municipalities, whether or not they would be required to get annual audits or biennial audits, or even just a report or expenditure report filed with the Alabama Department of Examiners. Under existing law, a municipality with annual expenditures of at least $300,000 must undergo annual audits. This bill would require a municipality with annual expenditures of at least $500,000 to undergo annual audits. So it raised that threshold from $300,000 to $500,000. For municipalities with between $300,000 and $500,000, those would be required to do biennial audits, raising that threshold from $100,000 to $300,000. Any small municipalities under $300,000 of annual expenditures would be required to do biennial audits, or they could submit an annual report to the Department of Examiners of Public Accounts. So if you're in the business of auditing smaller municipalities, you certainly know some in rural areas of Alabama, then some of those thresholds are subject to change depending on these bills, or this particular bill, HB 17 from Representative Lamb, and it has passed the House, so the Senate will now take that up. We are continuing to follow some tax legislation through the legislature. We have a bill brought by Chairman Danny Garrett, and Representative Garrett he and Senator Dan Roberts have brought companion bills into the legislature. Both of these bills basically say the same thing, but they are tying up some loose ends related to the Big Beautiful Bill. The two things in particular are allowing an exclusion from gross income for contributions to the Trump accounts. Currently, there's no such provision for Alabama for Trump accounts because it's a brand new thing. So this bill would allow for that, and also would sort of clarify and codify any contributions by an employer to pay off student loans for employees or on qualified education loans. So the Big Beautiful Bill allows that to happen. It would require this to sort of bring that into state law for conformity's sake. So that bill has been introduced by, again, both Senator Roberts and Representative Garrett. I look for the House bill, Representative Garrett's bill, to make its way through and then go upstairs and be passed by the Senate. I think there's going to be good support for both of those bills as well. So there are other tax legislation we kind of expect to come through the legislature this session, but we will wait and see when those get dropped, and we'll keep you informed when those things happen. So I don't expect a lot of major changes, but it being an election year, you just never know. So we'll just stay tuned right here to the Alabama CPA podcast. We'll do our best to keep you informed. And as always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please reach out to me. My email address is rpearson@alabama.cpa. That's RPEARSON at alabama.cpa. You'll find an active watch list on our website at alabama.cpa. Just be sure and click on the legislative advocacy page. You'll find our watch list and our weekly report, and nothing's going to keep you more updated, hopefully, than this here Alabama CPA podcast. So it's a pleasure being with you tonight, and we look forward to bringing you more updates in the future. This is Rob Pearson for the Alabama CPA podcast.